The foreign ministers of Egypt, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, and the Secretary General of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization held a meeting with the envoy for the Middle East to discuss the Gaza reconstruction plan, which was approved at the Arab Summit held in Cairo on March 4th. The Arab ministers emphasized the importance of securing a ceasefire in Gaza and the occupied Palestinian territories. They stressed the need to initiate a genuine effort to achieve a just and comprehensive peace based on the two-state solution, ensuring the fulfillment of the Palestinian people's aspirations for freedom and independence. US President Donald Trump has said that nobody is expelling any Palestinians from Gaza. Trump has resumed his close alliance with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu since taking office in January. He has previously said that all Palestinians should be removed from Gaza, at least temporarily, following a peace deal. But speaking alongside Trump, Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said aid needed to be surged into Gaza, while also calling for a ceasefire and the release of all remaining detainees.
I've never seen anything like it. Those are other clips I get to see. You know, as president, you get to see clips that you'd rather not see, but I see clips, and that was a terrible day.
Israeli occupation forces have launched an attack on El Shujaya neighborhood in the eastern Gaza, causing casualties. The occupation also fired shots east of El Farahin in Qnews. Meanwhile, Hamas and Israel resumed ceasefire negotiations in Doha, aiming to advance the second phase of the agreement that began on January 19th and ended its first phase on March 1st. Hamas stated it is engaging in the talks with positivity and responsibility. Israeli occupation forces have launched multiple raids across the West Bank, targeting various areas. Israeli troops stormed Aqabat Jebah and Ain Sultan refugee camps in Jericho, as well as the cities of Qalqilia and Al Khalil. In central West Bank, occupation forces also raided several towns in Ramallah, with no reported injuries or arrests. Palestinian sources reported that on Wednesday, Israeli forces demolished a home in Qalqilia and arrested 30 Palestinians in raids across different West Bank areas. Hamas has announced that the continued power cuts in Gaza for over 16 months, followed by the recent disconnection of the electricity line supplying the Deir al-Balah water desalination plant, constitute a war crime, threatening a potential water crisis. Hamas condemned the use of water and food as weapons against civilians, accusing Netanyahu's government of committing collective punishment. They called for immediate international action to stop these violations and hold Israeli leaders accountable.
Assalamu alaikum.
Germany Foreign Minister, spokesperson Catherine de Schauer, has urged Israel to comply with its obligations under international law regarding the suspension of humanitarian aid to Gaza. In a press statement, de Schauer expressed concern over the recent suspension of humanitarian aid and electricity and water supplies to Gaza. She called on the Israeli government to restore the entry of humanitarian aid and supply of the electricity to the Strip, noting that it was a matter of providing vital supplies for a large number of people. Doctors Without Borders has called on the Israeli occupation authorities to stop using humanitarian aid as a tool of war. In a statement, the international organization condemned the occupation's blockade, which deprives Gazans of basic supplies and vital services. The organization stated that Israel should never use humanitarian aid as a bargaining chip. The organization added it is trying to increase its activities, especially in northern Gaza. After the ceasefire that paused the war in January, Palestinian authorities have managed to rehabilitate dozens of schools across Gaza. For 15 months, Gaza's children were out of school as buildings were either destroyed or used as shelters. Hundreds of thousands lost a year of education. At least 39,000 missed final exams. UNICEF reports that over 95% of Gaza's schools are damaged, affecting 785,000 students.